confirms Arab foreign ministers agree on resolution backing inclusive political process in Syria. Egypt confirms ongoing mediation with Qatar and US to reach Gaza ceasefire. And Vietnam's ambassador praises strong ties with Egypt, hails President Sisi's peace efforts. Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati said Arab foreign ministers have agreed on a resolution calling for an inclusive political process in Syria. In an interview with Al Qahira News channel, Abdel-Ati stressed that this approach would protect all Syrian communities and further achieve stabilization and peace in the region. The Egyptian foreign minister has further confirmed ongoing Egyptian mediation efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza, working closely with Qatar and the United States. During his interview with Al Qahira News channel, he noted increased understanding from the US regarding the catastrophic situation in Gaza. However, the minister highlighted the main obstacle remains Israel's lack of political will to agree to a ceasefire. Regarding Libya, the minister expressed concern over escalating tensions and warned that without firm state control, sustainable stability in the country could not be reached. Egypt strongly condemned the continued Israeli occupation's brutal attacks on innocent Palestinian civilians in Gaza, including the bombardment of civilian and health facilities, which resulted in over 100 Palestinian deaths today. Egypt warned of the dangerous repercussions of these actions, which undermine security and stability in the Middle East. The Egyptian government held Israel responsible for ongoing violations of international humanitarian law. Egypt stressed the international community's shared responsibility to confront the persistent injustice faced by Palestinians under occupation. It renewed calls for accountability mechanisms to protect the Palestinian people, uphold the rights and preserve the credibility of the international legal system. During the same interview, the Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs announced a unified Arab position on two critical regional issues, the Sudan crisis and the Ethiopian dam dispute. Speaking on Cairo News channel, Dr. Abdel-Ati said Arab ministers agreed on a draft resolution expressing full solidarity with Sudan and condemning recent drone attacks on the city of Port Sudan. He also confirmed unanimous support for Egypt's historical water rights in the Nile amid ongoing tensions over the dam. The agreed resolutions will be submitted to Arab leaders for formal approval following standard procedures, including discussions at the level of permanent delegations and ministerial endorsements. Vietnam's ambassador to Egypt, Nguyen Hu Dung, praised the strong bilateral ties between the two countries, noting Vietnam's respect for Egypt's efforts led by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in promoting peace and stability in the Middle East. In an interview with Egyptian radio, the ambassador highlighted the long-standing relationship since 1963 and Egypt's continued support for Vietnam. He also commended Egypt's success in infrastructure development and expressed Vietnam's intention to emulate Egypt's experience in encouraging investments and boosting tourism. This has contributed to a rise in Vietnamese tourists visiting Egypt. Deputy Foreign Minister for Migration and Egyptian Abroad, Ambassador Nabil Habashi, confirmed that Egypt is closely monitoring the situation of its citizens in Libya amid ongoing security developments, particularly in the capital Tripoli. In a press statement, Ambassador Habashi said the ministry, under the directives from Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati, has activated a round-the-clock operations room involving all relevant sectors to track the conditions of Egyptians in Libya and security of Egyptian nationals remain the state's top priority, and that authorities are prepared to act immediately should the situation escalate. Angelina Ishhorst, head of the European Union delegation to Egypt, announced that the EU-Egypt trade relations have entered a new phase of strategic partnership following recent high-level talks between President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and European Commission. President Ursula von der Leyen, speaking at a press conference concluding her visit to Alexandria from May 13th to 16th, Ishhorst said the partnership is built on shared interests spanning trade, economic cooperation, environmental sustainability, human capital development, and regional security. She praised Egypt's pivotal role in promoting regional stability and highlighted Cairo's ongoing diplomatic efforts to secure a sustainable ceasefire in Gaza and support the political horizon for the Palestinian cause. Several politicians and political parties expressed their appreciation for President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's directives to develop Egypt's education system and prioritize teachers' welfare. They affirmed that these initiatives demonstrate the government's commitment to building a modern educational framework that prepares youth to meet future challenges, particularly in light of rapid changes in the labor market. Leadership focus on education was described as central to Egypt's long-term development goals. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and his delegation toured the Elsukari gold mine in Marsa Alam today. They inspected the manufacturing workshops, underground mining operations, and the solar power plant supplying electricity to the site. During the visit, Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Engineer Karim Badawi briefed the Prime Minister on advanced extraction methods and the latest equipment used in underground mining. The team also reviewed tunnel reinforcement techniques, quality control measures, and progress in excavation and production. Egypt's Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Dr. Mahmoud Ismat, received Andrei Petrov, Deputy Director General of Russia's Rostom and head of the Atom Stroy Expert, the company building Egypt's nuclear power plant at El Daba. The meeting focused on preparations to receive major electric equipment and transformers essential for connecting the plant to Egypt's national grid. Both sides discussed intensifying training programs to prepare skilled staff for plant operation. They reaffirmed commitment to accelerating project execution through continuous coordination between Egyptian and Russian teams. The El Daba project is a key component of Egypt's 2030 vision for clean energy and sustainable development. The Egyptian Senate, chaired by Councillor Abdel Wahab Abdel Razak, next week will review the Financial, Economic and Investment Committee's report on the draft law approving the Social and Economic Development Plan for fiscal year 2025-2026. The parliamentary report addresses global challenges impacting the economy, outlines the plan's goals, and evaluates sectoral and special development indicators. Key priorities include constitutional commitments on health, education and scientific research, funding, implementing of the National Planning Law, respect for human rights strategy and alignment with Egypt's Vision's 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. The Haya Karima Foundation announced the launch of the Life Chance Job Fair aimed at empowering youth and supporting their career start within major companies in Egypt's labor market. The event is held under the auspices of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and organized in cooperation with the Ministries of Youth and Sports, Communication and Information Technology, Social Solidarity, the National Alliance for Civil Development Work, and Care Egypt. The initiative reflects a coordinated effort between the government and civil society to address employment challenges and improve workforce participation. Egypt's Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Dr. Ayman Ashur, has stressed the importance of international cooperation between Egyptian academic and research institutions and global partners in science, research and technology fields. Dr. Ashur met with a delegation from China's Shanghai Open University to discuss enhancing academic collaboration focusing on empowering education through information and communication technology. The meeting explored expanding shared educational resources aiming to provide valuable opportunities for Egyptian and Chinese students and faculty to gain expertise, exchange knowledge and deepen cultural ties, thereby strengthening bilateral partnership in education and research. The Coptic Orthodox Church will hold a special divine liturgy on Sunday at the St. Mark's Cathedral in Abbasiyah to mark the 17th century anniversary of the Council of Nicaea. The service will be conducted in 4 languages and presided over by Pope Tawadros II alongside the heads of other Eastern Orthodox churches, including Syriac Orthodox Patriarch Ignatius Avram II and Armenian Orthodox Catholics Aram I. This historic event marks the first time the Eastern Orthodox Patriarchs of the Middle East will celebrate together. The liturgy will include prayers in Coptic, Syriac, Armenian, Arabic and English and feature 3 short sermons by each Patriarch. And the Egyptian Meteorological Authority reported that the satellite images indicate a severe heat wave is affecting most regions today. Temperatures are expected to reach up to 37 degrees Celsius in the shade across Greater Cairo. The authority warns of active wind, which may stir up dust and sandstorms, particularly over parts of the northwestern coast, the western desert, the southern Upper Egypt. The weather will be intensely hot during the day and mild at night across most of the country. Authorities advise caution in exposed areas due to the possibility of reduced visibility and hazardous travel conditions. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. Foreign Minister Abdullah Ati confirms the Arab foreign ministers agree on resolution backing inclusive political process in Syria. Egypt confirms ongoing mediation with Qatar and US to reach Gaza ceasefire. And Vietnam's ambassador praises strong ties with Egypt, hails President Sisi's peace efforts. Well, that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.